We're going from 0 to 60 with Robin Hood. So let's get cracking! Hello, all my explorers, and welcome back to Loren's Adventures Out There. My name is Loren, and I'm with Castles, Capes, and Clones, where we discuss everything in the Disney universe. We do unboxings and hauls, pins, box swaps, Disney news, Disney reviews, and more. So if that sounds fun to you, we'd love it if you would subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post, as it really helps your favorite content creators show that you appreciate them, and we in turn appreciate that. Today we are continuing our series from 0 to 60, in which we look at the films of Walt Disney Animation Studios, from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs to Encanto, 60 films in all. Today we are entering a new era entirely. This is 1973's Robin Hood. And the reason why this is Robin Hood, and the reason why this is an even newer era, is that this was the first animated film that Walt Disney did not have any hands on developing. Now, we'll get into this a little bit because there is some level of development, I would like to say, but nothing like what ended up on screen. So they do not credit Walt Disney as part of it. It tells a tale of Robin Hood and Little John, who are portrayed by animals. All the characters are animals. Robin Hood is a fox, and Little John is a bear. And they go around robbing from the rich and giving to the poor. And their biggest target is Prince John, who has oppressed the people since his brother left for the Crusades. He's made England a miserable place to be. The poor just keep getting poorer, getting taxed, and Prince John is constantly sending his right-hand man, the Sheriff Nottingham, out into the public to get the money. In the meantime, Robin Hood falls in love with Prince John's niece, Maid Marian, who is a fox, and Prince John is a lion. So how that happened, I have no idea. But anyway, they keep going and keep going, and they eventually get to the point where they are able to help the people of England. King Richard returns, and all is good in the kingdom. So this film is very different. This is where I say that Walt Disney might have had some level of development on it. The reason why is because Walt Disney wanted to develop a film called Reynard the Fox, a French folktale. And this was ever since the time of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The problem is that he felt that it would be too sophisticated for children to understand. At one point during Treasure Island, when they were developing that as a live-action film, they were considering putting little pieces like in Song of the South, little pieces of animation with Long John Silver telling Jim Hawkins the story of Reynard the Fox. And then they shelved it again, and they picked it up one more time in the 60s with there were two films that were under consideration in the mid-60s, and that was Chanticleer, which I talked about in the Sword and Stone episode, and Sword and Stone. Sword and Stone eventually won, and Chanticleer's villain was going to be Reynard the Fox. They again shelved the film. So later, after Walt had passed and Card Walker was kind of the head of the studio at the time, Ken Anderson went to him and said, why don't we do some kind of like classic tales, like Robin Hood? And and so they thought about doing that, but they thought, why not do it with animals? And so they kind of dusted off what was Reynard and kind of made him Robin Hood. Robin Hood was a fox, Reynard was a fox, and so that was the impetus for Robin Hood. Again, it doesn't mean that Walt Disney actually had his hands on the project. It just means that this project stemmed from all the way back then. So Ken Anderson, as he had for the past several films, was charged with kind of concept art and things like that. Woolie Reiserman became the director, and unfortunately, there were a lot of clashes between Woolie Reiserman and Ken Anderson. And there's tales of Ken Anderson actually crying when he found out some of his character designs were changed. Like, take for instance, he really wanted to kind of push the boundaries of what a villainous animal could be. So he made the Sheriff of Nottingham a goat. Well, Woolie Reiserman didn't like this idea. He thought it was just too, ridiculous, and they needed something like more huffity puffity, and they made. Ken Anderson also wanted to set the tale in the deep south of America, which is odd because it's Robin Hood. So I don't know. I on this. So I don't know. On this point I agree with Woolie Reiserman, and so yeah, there were just kind of like, unfortunately, things were starting to fade with the Old Nine Men working together on these projects, and we'll soon see in the next few films pretty much their entire dissolution, which is a very sad. So Robin Hood is often dinged for being the film that kind of recycled a lot of animation, and there's been a lot of videos about it where you can see they copied Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, The Jungle Book, other films, The Aristocats. So they copied a lot of different films, and that was really because of all of the production that was going on and trying to decide where things were going to be and what kind of animals things were going to be. At the same time, they were experiencing a lot of strife after Walt Disney had died, and so that's why decisions like that were made, or to recycle a lot of animation. Most of the music was written and performed by country music star Roger Allen, who played Alan Adale, a rooster, who was a minstrel that wandered through the story. And I would imagine that the reason why they chose a country western star to do this was kind of a concede to Ken Anderson's wish that this would be in the deep south. Maybe, I don't know. All I know is it works. I love Udalali and I love the whistle song. Great song. There was another song called Love that was written by a couple of the boys in the music department, and that was Floyd Holmeston, and The Phony King of England was written by Johnny Mercer. When the movie came out, it actually had a lot of critical praise to it, and a lot of people just thinking it's refreshing and things like that. But over the years, there have been a lot of people who have kind of thought that it wasn't one of Walt Disney Studios' films, best films. However, it does have a big cult following, um, including director Byron Howard, who worked on Zootopia, and his kind of wanting to work with anthropomorphic animals stems from his love of Robin Hood. So there's a lot of great things about that. Also, the song Love was nominated for But Lost You the Way We Were. Robin Hood is a film that I really love. I just think that it's such a sweet film. It's a simple film. You know, it's a film that is definitely indicative of the era, of the age, of the 70s. And I don't know, it just brings back a lot of nostalgia for me. I probably watched Robin Hood when it first came out in its first release, but as we're going to talk about in the release, but as we're going to talk about in the next film, The Rescuers, that's really the film that I remember coming out in its first release and watching it many, many times in the theater. Um, all right, well, what do you think of Robin Hood? Let me know in the comments below. Do you like Robin Hood? Have you watched it lately? Have you never watched it before? I'm always curious to hear these things. So anyway, if you enjoy yourself, please subscribe to our channel if you aren't already. Hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post as it really helps us out. Visit us on all our socials down below. Visit our website at www.castlescapesandclones.com. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see